So, you may have noticed in the last few days that I've been playing Fortnite a bit over at twitch.tv/JoeFromSeattle.
What? Where?
At twitch.tv/JoeFromSeattle. And this may have surprised a few of you after I talked so much shit about Fortnite, but I was giving the game another shot because a series of updates have gone live the last couple days that are seemingly in direct response to community feedback. Aim assist was nerfed on PC, the heavy sniper was nerfed, but perhaps the most important thing that was changed was skill-based matchmaking being all but removed from the squads playlist. This is the main reason I wanted to try the game again. I've been extremely critical of Fortnite in the last year or so, but I've also made it no secret that I used to love this game. At no point did I ever think Fortnite was a super well-designed game, but I certainly thought it was fun as hell for the longest time. However, the game lost me, and many other people, when the competitive meta started dominating public matches. And then when they added hard skill-based matchmaking to public matches, I just kinda dipped. It simply wasn't possible to play the game casually anymore. I made a whole video about skill-based matchmaking a while back, and I'll put a link in the description if you want my full, unedited thoughts on that mechanic as a whole, but this video is going to be focusing on one simple question. Is Fortnite fun again? Well, let's crank out some 90s, mash L2, and default dance our way straight into this. Sorry. So the first thing you'll realize upon playing Fortnite again is the UI. Holy hell, the UI in this game is awful now. Look at this menu. What's happening here? And how come every 20 minutes or so I get a giant pop-up for some people I don't care about? Last time I checked when I booted up a game, it was because I wanted to play the game. So you get into the game itself, and keep in mind that I've only been playing squads since I reinstalled. Only squads. But that shouldn't be a shock because apparently everyone's playing squads. It's rare to find an actual full team in squads now because I'm assuming once it came out that skill-based matchmaking was removed from squads, that's all people wanted to play because it feels more like old Fortnite. While there is a little bit of irony to this, that skill-based matchmaking made everyone flock to the playlist without it, it's actually creating a balance issue in squads because there are so few actual squads in there. Because there are so many solos and duos in the squads playlist now, teams are dying off a lot quicker and bot squads are actually living a lot longer. For those that didn't know, a while back Fortnite added bots, like AI bots, to backfill the matches, and this was back when they first added skill-based matchmaking into pubs, so that way matchmaking would be faster. But for some reason, even though skill-based matchmaking has been pretty much removed, or at least significantly reduced, bots are still very present in matchmaking. And since the team sizes are so out of whack right now, the bot teams are living a lot longer than they normally are. I had multiple instances yesterday where I won a couple games, but the last team was just bots. I was playing solo squads and the game ended with a 1v1 between me and an AI. There is zero reason that should ever happen. And I think this highlights a major disconnect with the community and the devs. Removing skill-based matchmaking has overflowed the squads playlist to a ridiculous degree. If Epic doesn't take this to heart, it's going to look really bad on their part. I've been saying this for a long time. Keep skill-based matchmaking in the ranked modes and let pubs be casual and random. That's the way the game was when it first got popular, and that's what the majority of the community wants now. I know skill-based matchmaking has a place in lower level lobbies, I totally get that, but people need to realize that it has an extremely negative effect on the players mid-level and higher. The skill matching was way too lenient before, so lower level players were getting matched with each other just fine, but mid-level and higher level players were only getting the sweatiest of the sweaties, and it made playing the game casually simply impossible. The changes to skill matching in squads has remedied that, but created a new issue, that being the one I described before with small team sizes and the abundance of bots, living far longer than they're supposed to. Bots were added to the game to backfill matches and speed up matchmaking, but now that skill-based matchmaking is gone, they don't need to be there anymore. Epic needs to remove bots altogether from squads. There's just no purpose for them now. I understand skill matching for the low-level players and the new players, but I feel like most people have the same solution for that. Have a designated playlist for low-level players. Have a beginner's playlist so that only people with less than 3 hours of playtime on their account can get into it. Boom, problem solved. Stop punishing everyone who plays your game just because some people aren't good yet. So aside from the skill-based matchmaking side of things, is Fortnite fun now? There are still so many blatant and objective balancing issues with this game that even without skill-based matchmaking, it's hard to enjoy. Mythic weapons are busted.
But Joe, they're super rare, so they're supposed to be strong.
Yeah, I know they're super rare. That just makes it worse. The fact that there's only a couple mythic weapons on the field at a time just makes it even more of a balancing issue because there's less of a direct counter to them. And wow, what a coincidence, mythic weapons always end up in the hands of the final teams. Isn't that such a coincidence? Wow, it's so funny how that works. Who definitely thought that was not a balancing issue? 10 out of 10, this game's well balanced. These handful of guns always end up in the final circle. Wow, there's definitely no correlation between that. Also, Bloom has absolutely no place in a shooting game. I don't care what you say to defend it. I feel like I've been saying this for like 2 years now. Why is Bloom still in the game? Another one. Oh my god! Bloom has no place in a shooting game, and if you like it, it's because you're bad at shooters. I don't care if that upsets you. Learn to aim like the rest of us. And also, what's the deal with heavy snipers not actually dealing damage? Like, if you hit someone with a heavy sniper, there's like a 40% chance it doesn't actually do damage. Does the helicopter make a big explosion when you...
When it crashes? Yeah, because remember what happened last time?
How does something like this even get into the game? I will say it's nice to play a battle royale game that actually has competent footstep audio. Not good footstep audio, competent footstep audio. Apex Legends, you won't hear people till they're already really close to you, and Warzone is basically a coin toss on whether or not somebody makes sound at all. Seriously, how the f has Warzone audio not been fixed yet? So while it can be a little nerve-wracking in Fortnite to hear people clomping around all near me, I do appreciate that it actually expects you to manage your own volume. If you're running around, you're gonna make a lot of noise. If you're crouching, you're gonna move slower but not make any noise. There's no sneaking up on people at full speed, and I appreciate that. Now, vertical audio is still a complete joke in this game, but I'll take what I can at this point. I don't know what it is about Battle Royale games and having really dog shit footstep audio, but Fortnite's is alright, all things considered. A lot of core issues I had with Fortnite before are still here, and while they're admittedly less dramatic now that the game isn't forcing me into scrim lobbies, they're still pretty annoying. The bloom is the main one I can't stand, and I've been saying it for the longest time. The main reason why the whole Fortnite meta is basically just boxing yourself up as long as possible and then W keying at someone with a shotgun and an SMG, it's because mid-range combat is pretty much impossible. Weapon bloom makes it literally impossible for you to consistently challenge people at mid-range, and since snipers are much rarer now, long-range combat is also pretty much non-existent. The whole meta of Fortnite is just boxing yourself up as long as possible until you can force yourself into someone else's space and spray them down with a close-range weapon, because that's the only playstyle that's actually consistent, and that just kills a lot of the variety this game used to have. Bloom was always a problem on automatic weapons, I know, but back in the game's prime, there were a lot of non-bloom guns. There was the scoped AR, the thermal AR, the hunting rifles, sniper rifles were more common, weapons that rewarded awareness and precision like the marksman rifle, the infantry rifle. But now it just seems like there's only one way to properly play Fortnite. And that not only makes the game a lot more boring, but it also just makes it feel cheap. I don't get any satisfaction from winning Fortnite games anymore because I don't feel like I actually worked for it. When I win a game of Apex Legends, it's still a rush because I feel like I worked my ass off for it. I hit my shots, I knew my matchups, I knew my abilities and my cooldowns, I did everything right. But with Fortnite, when I win a game, I don't know how many people in the lobby died to BS. I don't know how many people in the lobby disconnected because the game is still painfully unstable. I don't know how many people got screwed by Bloom. I don't know how many people died to someone just spamming the drum gun. I don't know how many people got screwed by the heavy sniper bug. There's just so many things in Fortnite that are completely out of your control, and I understand that's part of the game. I just don't enjoy it. I get no satisfaction out of it. I feel like the mechanics make it so there's a physical roof on how good you can actually get at this game, and then there's so many other elements that are out of your control that winning a game is more like a slot machine than an actual showing of skill. And I know that all Battle Royale games will have RNG in their core gameplay, but Apex Legends, PUBG, and Ring of Elysium, rest in peace, are good examples of how to make a BR with very minimal randomness involved. So is Fortnite fun again? I really don't think so. I think it's better than before, and it's headed in the right direction for sure, but it really doesn't matter how much they change the little details of the matchmaking or the weapon tuning when the core of the game is still designed in such a way that simply cannot be enjoyed consistently. And I understand that my definition of fun is subjective. I get that. But as someone who plays a lot of multiplayer shooters and who really likes consistent, demanding, skill-based games, Fortnite just bugs me with how little skill is actually involved in order to do well. It's still trying to be a casual game and a competitive one at the same time, and that simply cannot be done. You can have a game that's designed to be casual, or you can have a game that's designed to be competitive but can be enjoyed casually. You cannot have a game that is truly both casual and competitive at the same time. Unless Epic Games fundamentally picks a side here, none of my issues with the game are going to go away. It was fun to revisit, and I do think it's headed in the right direction. But as for right now, I think I'm done. I think I just need to accept that the good times I had with this game are over, and it's not going to go back to the way it was. And while this does highlight another issue I have with multiplayer games now, the fact that they all feel this inherent need to constantly change when that's a stupid concept and it creates inconsistency, I think that's a video for another day. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe if you're new and you like what you see. Give me a follow on Twitter if you want, or check out my Twitch channel and my music channel. Links to all those places in the description, and I will see you all a little later.